Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy ThatBoyAlex here, and welcome back to another video on this channel. Today, we're going to be checking out why TNA wrestling could be in danger. And this video is from Top 10 Wrestling. Good channel, by the way. Go check them out. Be sure to subscribe to them if you want. So, if you guys don't know, TNA. Now, I don't watch TNA like that anymore, so I can't really give you a full take of what I think of the product nowadays, but I used to watch TNA. And when some of the rosters started leaving for the main promotions like WWE and AEW, that's when I sort of tuned out of it. And I do keep up with TNA and some of the moves that they make, even though I don't watch it on a full basis. The last show I went to, Final Resolution, I thought it was very solid. And yeah, so TNA and their management and, Anthem, they have been making some very questionable decisions. So without further ado, let's get into why TNA wrestling could be in danger. So here we go. All right. Oh, I was testing something out, so that's why I had to go back. Caught up. All right.
Right, so under most metrics, TNA Wrestling seems to actually be doing pretty well for itself right now. Higher attendances, higher buy rates, and higher chatter about TNA on social media, as well as their partnership with the WWE, has led to many making the bold claim that TNA Wrestling is the #2 promotion now. And I've got to say that I'm not sure the people who are making that claim have ever watched an episode of TNA Impact or TNA's weekly product, because no, it definitely isn't the #2 promotion. Fair play for how they're doing right now, but I feel as though TNA's TV product has some very big issues, and TNA's future could be bleak if they don't sort themselves out. So today we're going to talk about my 3 main issues with TNA Wrestling currently, from problems behind the scenes to the on-screen product having its own issues. These are the problems that I think TNA could use some fixing, so like the video as we discuss the first problem, which is TNA's general decision making. And when I'm talking about decision making, the main thing I'm talking about is behind the scenes decision making, not booking and what we're seeing on screen. And since TNA returned back to that name, there has definitely been some questionable decisions from the company. First of all was the firing of Scott D'Amore, which feels like it happened so long ago now. And this was major because Scott D'Amore was the one who pitched for Impact Wrestling to return back to the TNA name and was spearheading the new era of TNA. He was in the ring when he announced that TNA was coming back, just to get fired only months into it. And this stemmed from disagreements between Scott D'Amore and TNA's parent company, Anthem Sports and Entertainment, as they both had different ideas of the direction they wanted to take TNA in and certain decisions that were being made. One of the notable ones is that the company felt that Scott D'Amore overpaid certain talents that D'Amore had signed, and that's why there's been a few departures in TNA the last year or so. Rhino, Trent Seven, Kushida, PCO are all talents that departed from TNA post Scott D'Amore firing, as their contracts expired at the end of the year and they opted not to re-sign after they were offered renewals at less money. And they've lost some good talent as a result of that, and someone else that TNA recently lost, in fact, they chose to fire themselves in one of the most questionable TNA decisions legit ever, is the fact that just recently they fired Gail Kim. Gail Kim, if you don't know, is one of the GOATs of TNA, a legend of the wrestling business due to her work that she did in TNA and the way that herself and Awesome Kong put women's wrestling on the map. Truly one of the greatest of all time in TNA, and she's been in TNA for a while, sort of in a backstage role. And with the amount of respect and prestige that she carries, she is an asset to have backstage in any company. Great for coaching and helping and scouting younger talents. Like I said, she carries so much respect, she can diffuse situations, and she's been part of many TNA projects on screen over the years, so this was a very shocking and surprising move. And unsurprisingly, people were kind of up in arms about this, being like, hey, what the fuck, what are you doing here, TNA? Including some members of the TNA locker room. Anthem released a statement over it which didn't really say,
bro, if you got your rock, bro, if you got the talent, if you got them coming on social media and calling this stuff out, that means you definitely fucked up. Real talk, that means you definitely messed up. Because I was seeing the same thing too. I was seeing tweets from the knockouts from some of the wrestlers in the knockouts division, like Stephanie Lana. I saw all these tweets on social media. Like, why are you making this move? This is not the right decision. What are we doing? When talent comes out and calls this stuff out, that means you fucked up. Like, what are you doing? I feel bad for those girls, man. For that knockouts division. I feel bad for majority of the talent that that was here through Scott D'Amore when Scott D'Amore got fired. Scott D'Amore should have never been fired in the first place. They fired Scott D'Amore. Now you filed Gail Kim in a 1 year span. This is crazy. And I got this take that I'm gonna hold in. You probably seen in my community post, but I'm gonna hold in this take for right now. But that's just messed up. And then talent post Scott D'Amore, Scott D'Amore is paying talent a bunch of money, and now post Scott D'Amore, they wanted to underpay these talent. They basically wanted talent to take a pay cut. From what I'm hearing, so that's really messed up.
All that much, and Gail Kim also released a statement which thanks the fans and thanks TNA, and I would be very shocked to not see Gail Kim turn up in AEW or even WWE in the next few months or so. But hey, it's all good, nothing to panic about, because TNA Plus subscriptions have doubled this year alone, thanks in major part to the marketing team that have just been fired in the same round of firings as Gail Kim. Just baffling. So yeah, TNA seems to be having an issue right now where they are firing the complete wrong people and people they should probably be looking to retain. But on the opposite end, on the recruitment end, on who they're signing, I gotta say, it's not any better either. TNA made a lot of signings since the return of the name and brand, and I gotta say there are some good signings that TNA did indeed make that have worked out very well. I think Jody Threat and Danny Luna, Spitfire, especially as Spitfire, were great signings and have been great signings. The same with Leon Slater, who was a great pickup from TNA as well. But there have been acquisitions from TNA that I think are just super questionable and haven't really helped or benefited TNA in the slightest. Of course, maybe the most notable pickup TNA have made in the last year or so since the return of the TNA name is the return of Tessa Blanchard. Bringing Tessa Blanchard back to TNA, of course, comes with a lot of baggage due to her controversy, and that is something that has not gone away since Tessa Blanchard has arrived to TNA, and the fans have let them know that, as they've received heavy backlash for having Tessa Blanchard on the shows, and she gets a very negative go away heat reception whenever she's out there. And TNA seem to be in a weird spot with Tessa Blanchard where they seem to be hesitant to really do anything with her on the wider TNA roster, and she's not really been involved in any proper storylines, and a lot of the times they have her mixing it up with the women of WWE who are coming over to TNA for a quick appearance. It seems as though TNA are hesitant to have Tessa Blanchard interact with the wider TNA roster, and it makes me not really understand what they bought Tessa Blanchard back for. She's a very good wrestler, very good in the ring, we can't deny that. She had a great match against Jordan Grace, but we can't get those good matches if you aren't going to put her up against anyone in any meaningful matches. So what is she even there for? And yeah, other names I've seen appearing on TNA TV that they picked up or signed on either temp deals or long-term deals are Primo and Epico. I saw turn up on TNA recently, which is just
bringing her back was it was a bad move. I don't think this company should not have brought her back, because let's be real, Tessa, the fact that has she even came out and apologized yet for what happened many years ago? Has she even came out and apologized? Number one. Like, and then another thing too, she's like the dude said, she's getting go away heat. I saw a clip online saying she's a racist chance. Tessa, we coming for you. Tessa, we coming for you. Yeah. And you can't. And who's the Knockouts champion right now? Masha Slamovich, right? Yeah. You can't put her in any major feuds. You can't. That would be the next big move TNA would disastrously make. is putting that championship on Tessa Blanchard. How much y'all want to bet Tessa Blanchard will be the knockout champion before the year is over? How much y'all want to bet? We'll see. Yeah, TNA, they do got Primo Epico.
Baffling, it's not 2014 anymore, and even in 2014 they were still jobbers. And Chavo Guerrero has also been making appearances for TNA recently, and even wrestled for TNA recently. Come on, TNA, man, what are we doing here? I understand the TNA of the past was world renowned and well known for their obsession with signing WWE ex-talents who they just didn't need at all and was of no benefit to them. So are they trying to bring that image back because it's 2025 and I'm seeing fucking Chavo Guerrero on my TV screen wrestling? Make this make sense. And when you watch this, you think about the fact that Jordan Grace, the Motor City Machine Guns, Rhino, Kushida, they were all let go for Chavo Guerrero and Primo and Epico and Tessa Blanchard. Just think about that for a second. And obviously that all goes hand in hand with the big main issue of TNA right now is the weekly TV show and its booking. TNA booking right now is just not good. The weekly shows recently have been unexciting with randomly thrown together unexciting matches and not much in the way of storylines and storyline progression from week to week. The only real storyline I've seen they have going on is the stuff with the Hardys and Leon Slater, which seems alright. They seem to be mentoring him, and this weird storyline with Ryan Nemeth and his brother Nick Nemeth, where the entire storyline is that Ryan is just happy being overshadowed by his older brother. It's strange, and as well as that, I feel as though Joe Hendry's world title reign has just been a bit unserious so far. Like, I get Joe Hendry is a borderline comedy wrestler, but this is the world title reign. This is your first world title reign. It's time to be a bit more serious and maybe put the guitar away from time to time. And as well as that, whilst the NXT partnership and the WWE partnership has been beneficial in terms of the metrics and numbers like we all say, and it is nice to see the women of NXT come over onto TNA TV, 95% of the time, the people that come over onto TNA TV are NXT stars who come over with no introduction or context whatsoever of who they are to make TNA fans care. And trust me, a lot of the talents that come over from NXT to TNA, no disrespect, I have no idea who they are. And TNA just kind of throws them in random matches against their talent. Sometimes they win, sometimes they don't, and it doesn't really serve any purpose, I don't feel, other than development for that WWE talent. It's not really benefiting the TNA on-screen product in any way whatsoever. Obviously, it can be argued that this WWE partnership is one of the driving forces to why TNA have managed to get their attendance numbers up and their buy rate numbers up, but I feel as though it's got TNA in a bit of a place of complacency in terms of their TV product. They seem to just be coasting through it week to week before they get to pay-per-views, which seem to be at least a little better. Their pay-per-views have definitely got better in quality, I'll give them that. But weekly TV just ain't it, man, and it hasn't been it for a couple of months now. They had something going for them where they would have a TNA Live Impact episode every now and then, and that was exciting at the start, but even now they suffer the exact same problems that I'm referring to here. And the thing with TNA is they can turn this around in terms of their booking on screen. They have a very good roster. There is a good free agency market with wrestlers they can pick up. They have this WWE partnership. There are ways they can make this work on screen, but they just aren't doing that. The main thing TNA I feel as though are looking out for right now is a new TV deal. That's something that's been mentioned a lot by TNA talent. I always see them talking about it in interviews, their desire for a new TV deal and a better TV deal for TNA. And I'm sure they actually might be in a pretty good place working towards that in terms of how their numbers are looking, but the on-screen product is just not good right now and they are complacent. And if they don't get that TV deal, then I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of fucking over for them. TNA are never gonna properly grow if they remain on Access TV and don't upgrade to a better TV network or TV deal or broadcasting deal in general. So all I'm saying is, in case it does go tits up, it would be nice if the weekly product is still at least watchable. But that's it from me on this video, guys. Be sure to smash the like button if you did enjoy my yapping about TNA here, and leave a comment down below about your thoughts on the current state of TNA wrestling, and subscribe with those notifications on so you never miss a video. I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye, and keep on rolling.
All right.